Hey guys, welcome to Let Hallie Read. Today we're going to talk about the books that I did not finish. I used to be one of those readers that thought in order to be a good reader or a good bookworm, I had to finish every book that I started. I used to make myself read books that I did not enjoy because I thought that I was a lesser reader because of that. That was really my own self-consciousness coming out. No one ever really made me feel that way but myself. Luckily, I've met so many people on this platform, on Instagram, that also do not finish books, and that's perfectly fine. Thought process now is if I'm not enjoying a book, then I'm just wasting my time because there could be a book out there that I absolutely love, and I don't want to waste my time with a book I don't like. Today, I'm going to talk about the books that I did not finish, but I plan on coming back to. I have not completely given up on them yet. Next DNF video is going to be about the books that I did not finish and I have no intention of picking back up. First book on the list of books I did not finish was a recent one, and some of you may not be too happy with me. King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. Before the stones start getting thrown at me, please let me explain. I loved the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I had no intention of picking up Six of Crows just because I read the synopsis and didn't think I'd like it. And so I skipped over Six of Crows and went straight to King of Scars, which I now know was a pretty big mistake. King of Scars follows several characters, Nikolai, Nina, Zoya, and I was very familiar with Nikolai and Zoya, of course, because they are in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but I was not familiar with Nina, and I had no real emotional connection with Nina. So the Shadow and Bone trailer came out, and everyone was freaking out about the Six of Crows. No one was talking about Alina and the Darkling and Mal. They were all talking about Kaz and Inez and Jesper and Nina. I decided, fine, I will pick up Six of Crows. So that's actually what I'm reading right now. I'm on the Crooked Kingdom, and I feel like I'm getting to know Nina better. And so I'm really excited to pick this one up. I'm gonna give it a chance because now I know Nina, and I feel like this book can be more well-rounded in that way. It's not a bad book. I feel like you need to read obviously the Shadow and Bone trilogy first, and then the Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom next. Some people say that you don't need to read Six of Crows to read this book, but I had to. So if you are interested in getting into the Grishaverse, I highly recommend reading Six of Crows duology before reading King of Scars. The next book that I have that I did not finish was Redwall by Brian Jacques. Is it Jacques? It sounds very French, so I'm assuming it's Jacques. For someone who loves children's literature, I knew nothing about Redwall until I met my husband. This is actually his book, not mine. And he loved this book growing up. And as I said, it's so crazy because I've never even heard of this series. And so I was really excited. I decided to start reading it. Redwall is about a little mouse named, I think, Matthias or Matthias. I have the same problem with the Six of Crows because I don't know if the character in that story is called Matthias or Matthias. I'm not sure. We're gonna call him Matthias for now. Sorry if I'm getting his name wrong. But we have this little mouse named Matthias. He has to go save his abbey, Redwall Abbey, from this dark, shadowy villain called Clooney. Why did I stop reading this book? I just don't think I was in the mood for this type of story at the time that I picked it up. It's got a lot of, I don't want to say simplistic language because that's not right. It's not that it's simplistic, 'cause that makes it sound like it's dumbed down. This is a very intricate story. I just don't think it was for me at the time of reading it. And that happens to me a lot. Being a mood reader, I have to be in the right headspace for certain types of books. And I just don't think I was in the right headspace for this book. So that's why I am going to start it again. I'm going to pick it up again because I've heard nothing but wonderful things about it. And so I, of course, don't want to give up on it. So I'm excited to start this again. So my next book is Gregory Maguire's Wicked. So I mentioned this book in my musical theater book tag, and I said that I had not read this. That was a little bit of a fib. I have read some of it, but I don't consider it a full read because I didn't get through it. I don't even think I got through half of it. So Wicked is about the story of Elphaba before she became Wicked Witch of the West. It's kind of her life story. It's by Gregory Maguire. He does a lot of retellings of different classic stories, and Wicked is one of them. So let me tell you why I couldn't get into this book when I first read it. I thought it was going to be exactly like the musical, and it wasn't. It really very clearly was not, and it ruined it a little bit for me. I won't say ruined. I think it was my expectations, and I should have gone into this book with no expectations, but I did. I had an expectation. It didn't meet it immediately, and I just gave up on it. I've always planned on coming back to this book. Now, when you watch my part 2 of this video of DNFing, I do have another Gregory Maguire book on my DNF list. So I'm a little nervous that Gregory Maguire is just not the author for me, but I am going to give Wicked another chance, and if I just can't get through it, that's probably going to tell me that Gregory Maguire is just not my kind of author. So we'll see. Next book that I just could not make it through, but I do want to pick it up, I do want to try it again, is the graphic novel Watchmen. I started reading Watchmen because I got into a really big graphic novel kick last year. I read most of the Sandman graphic novels by Neil Gaiman, and I didn't read all of them, but I don't really consider them a DNF just because the storyline goes off a little bit. Yeah, like I said, I got really into graphic novels. I, have always heard of Watchmen and how great it is. I got quite a ways through with Watchmen before I said I'm just not into it as much as I want to be. I don't know if it was all the visuals that just overwhelmed me. I don't know if it was just because I couldn't really follow the storyline. I have a harder time with graphic novels just because your eyes are going everywhere. I don't really know where my eyes should go when I'm reading graphic novels. And I know that you should probably take your time and soak in the imagery. I probably go too fast when it comes to graphic novels. I probably need to slow down and give more of it a chance and let it soak in. And so that's why I want to give Watchmen another chance, and I want to approach Watchmen with a different perspective. So if you are into graphic novels, what advice would you give to someone who doesn't really do graphic novels, that has a hard time getting through them just because of the overwhelming amount of images? Last book we have on the list is a book that I haven't decided yet if I'm going to come back to or not. So this one's an iffy one, but it is Donna Tartt's The Goldfinch. The Goldfinch is about a 13-year-old boy who goes to a museum with his mother, and a bomb goes off in the museum. She dies. He finds this painting, and he essentially takes it. It's overall a story about how he deals with his mother's death and just that really traumatic experience that he had, because he was obviously in the museum when it happened. The initial premise really caught me. The book started out really strong. It got really slow in the middle. I felt like the author was trying to establish this context of his new life, but it was just taking forever. At some point I was like, okay, we get it. He's here. He's made this friendship, this relationship. Okay, what next? Got to a point where I just got bored. If you've read this book and you promise me it picks up and you promise me it gets better, then please let me know. But as of right now, I am on the fence with The Goldfinch. It's why I haven't unhauled it yet, because of that reason. I want to try to give it a chance, but let me know if you think this is a book worth giving another try. That is all that I have for part 1 of my DNF. Again, those books are books that I do plan on reading again. Check out my next video, which will talk about the books that I have DNF'd, but I have no intention of trying them again. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know about the books that you did not finish, but you picked up later and you actually ended up loving, because I love hearing those types of stories. See you guys later.